Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, my fam. How are you? I hope you're well. I'm doing pretty well. It's my Saturday, and it is day 33 of my daily vlog, and I am so proud of myself for getting here. And 3 is my favorite number, so today feels special for no other reason than that. Anyway, I'm really glad you're here. I have some stuff written down. I don't know if I want to talk about all of it. We'll see. One of the things I have at the top of my list, though, is comparison is the thief of joy. And I will talk about that. And it is a huge deal. And it's one of those things that even if you know it, your brain still loves to get you to compare yourself to others and see where you're falling short. And it's super fucking annoying is what it is. So I've mentioned a few times that my doubt monster has been rearing its ugly head and trying to get me to do things differently, telling me I should be more like other YouTubers who are more popular, although they've also been around a lot longer than 33 days. So, of course, they're more popular. And also, I'm me. I don't want to be them. I want to be here as me. I want to attract my own audience. Like, I know, I do know that my mind is trying to help me. It is trying to, it sees what I'm doing as dangerous, and it is trying to make it as safe as possible by getting me to follow something that has obviously worked for others. But I don't think that is the road to true success or true happiness. I think the road to true success and happiness is the long, winding, uncertain road. I mean, I will take some things to heart, like I put all my YouTube transcripts through Lumo AI, Proton's AI, and have it create SEO titles and descriptions for me. And so I do that, and that was a recommendation from a YouTuber who teaches how to like make your YouTube channel more popular. But that's honestly kind of as far as I'm going. Like, I tried the hook thing and I managed to do it once. But that's just not how my brain works. I mean, I might be able to train my brain to work that way, but sorry, my hair is like really annoying me. Okay. I think I got it. All right. But I don't think I'm going to be that type of channel. At least not right now. Right now, I think I'm looking for people who just want to hang out and kind of like see someone that is similar to them in some way doing something that maybe they've thought about, but it scares them. Or people that just want to hang out, you know? Yeah. So, and I'm having so much fun doing this my way. Like, I may not be getting 30,000 views, but I'm having a blast. And, who was it? I think it was Tom Scrylius. I love his videos. I reference him a lot, but he thinks about things deeply, like I do. I think he laughs less. He should laugh more, but anyway. That's my personal opinion and observation. But anyway, I really like him. And he was saying that a lot of people that got into YouTube because they really liked like the editing and the storytelling and stuff, now they're outsourcing all that to other people, and it's become like now they're business owners. And it reminds me of an Apashe song, and it's with another artist whose name I'm forgetting. I will look for it after I finish recording, and I will link it in the description below. But one of the lines in the song was, "What I wanted was love. What I got was a business." And I don't want to do that. Like this, I do want this to be a business, but I want it to be full of love the whole way. And I don't want to conform to other people's ideas of what will make me successful and therefore rob myself of the joy of doing it. Like, then there's no point. I might as well just keep working for someone else in that case. I want this to be fun for me. Like even if that means I make less, that's fine. That's totally fine. Money is not everything. And I know that because when I was a hairstylist, when I quit, I was charging $60 an hour, basically. I charged $60 for haircuts, and I based all my color prices off of the $60 haircut price. And I booked out an hour for both men and women for the $60 price. I don't like being rushed. I like being able to take my time, and I'm just not a super fast hair cutter, especially if someone has really unruly hair. I would rather have extra time between clients than overload my schedule. So already, even with the making $60 per haircut, like where maybe I could have squeezed 2 men into an hour and made $120, like it was not worth it to me to do that. I would rather like have a half hour between and have some time to sit or drink some tea, you know, relax, shake it off. But yeah, so anyway, and I was working for myself from home, so my overhead was pretty low. I was buying a lot of color and product, and those things are not cheap, but for haircuts, my overhead was next to nothing. And if I had loved it and been able to like really market myself and maybe work a little more than I did. I only worked 24 hours a week. I worked 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturday. And I had Sunday, Monday, Tuesday off. Tuesday was my errand day, though. I would go on a circuit of all the beauty supplies that I got supplies from and clean my house and prepare for the following week. So Tuesday kind of wasn't an off day. It was just a different kind of work day. But anyway, I could have made a ton of money. I made almost twice. Well, I was making more than twice what I'm making now with tips, because most of my clients tipped at least 20%, many of them more even. So $72 an hour plus. And I'm currently making $31.40 an hour, which is good. I mean, in this country, there are crazy places that still, I think, have like under $7 an hour as minimum wage, which is insane. I mean, I understand that those places probably have quite lower cost of living than where I live, but not enough difference not enough difference to account for, I think the minimum wage here is 21 something an hour. It's around 20. So anyway, I have considered going back to doing hair a couple times, but the most recent time, I actually looked at reviews for a bunch of local salons to see if there were any that sounded like they had a culture I wanted to be a part of. And just reading the reviews started to give me severe anxiety, and I was like, nope, I definitely do not want to go back to that. Even with a more flexible schedule, and even with making twice as much per hour as I'm making now, it's not worth it. Money is not everything. It's really not. Right now, I mean, there are things that could be better about my job, but my team is really great. I really like the team of people I work with. We laugh out loud hard every single day. Several of us have very similar music tastes and anime tastes, so we can geek out about punk music and anime. And it's just really cool. It's such a cool, eclectic group of people, and I dig it. And there's not the weird sense of competition, I feel like, that a lot of salons get. Although, obviously, I didn't have that when I worked from home. But I didn't have any interaction with anyone who wasn't paying me when I worked from home. Yeah. And there was something I thought of when I was talking that I wanted to maybe go down that rabbit hole. What was it? Damn it. I hate it when my mind does this. It's like, oh, what about this? And then, but I'm in the middle of the sentence, and so I'm like, yeah, I'll get back to you, and then it's gone. It's just gone. I don't know. Maybe it'll come back to me. That sucks. I think it was a juicy one. Yeah, I have no idea. So, since I cannot remember what that little nugget was, I guess we will talk about the next one on my list. So the song People Who Died by Jim Carroll has been popping into my head recently, and I pulled it up and listened to it yesterday. And it sent me down a whole punk rabbit hole, but that's not where this is going. It's been on my mind because I've been thinking about all the people in my life who've died over my lifetime. And the first one I really remember having an impact on me was Scott Fisher. And he died pretty famously, so I feel comfortable talking about him. On Everest. He was a mountain climber and guide for other climbers, and I grew up knowing him, and he got me into indoor rock climbing when I was a teenager, which I did for several years, and I really loved it. I recently considered getting back into it, but I looked at a local climbing gym, and the monthly membership is a bit out of my price range, so not right now. And I don't have anywhere I can really boulder outdoors for free at the moment. Maybe I should look into, next time I want to move, I should see if there are any good rock, outdoor natural rock formations where I can boulder for free. Anyway, and I wouldn't say it was traumatic. I was devastated because I really looked up to him. I had kind of a funny crush on him as a teenager to an amazing adult who was just as strong as a horse and looked like a Viking, a long blonde ponytail, and he climbed Everest. I mean, how cool is that? But he also died doing what he loved, and he had gotten back to his camp safe, and he went back out looking for people who hadn't returned yet, and that's when he went missing. So, and I know there's like quite a bit of controversy about him, which I have not delved into. I don't know if I want to change my perception of him. I might just keep him the way he was to me, that way in my mind. I don't know if I see a benefit to delving into all of his folly as well. I don't know. I won't say I can't do it if it interests me in the future, but right now it doesn't interest me. And like, I felt like that was a good way to die, though. Like, doing what you love and trying to help others. And then one of my uncles died, and he was a nurse. He'd been a nurse in the Army, and then he got out of the Army and he remained a nurse, and he was on his way to work one morning and saw an overturned vehicle with no one around, and he got out to offer medical assistance, and a van that was speeding hit the overturned vehicle, which hit my uncle and sent him flying, and he was like dead on impact. But he had pulled the driver of the overturned vehicle free before that happened, and he survived. So that was another instance where that felt like a really honorable death to me. But then the next person who died was my grandpa in this house that I live in when I was living with him. And I was home. He was doing laundry in the basement, and I was in the downstairs bathroom. I was renting a basement bedroom from him. And I heard a commotion that sounded like him falling down the stairs. And I was like, oh no, oh no. And I came out, and he had, in fact, fallen down the stairs, and he seemed really dazed and confused. He was laying on his back on the floor. Tried to keep him there, but he was not having it. He got himself sitting on the stairs, but he was like really out of it, and he had a big hematoma on the top of his head. And thankfully my parents had already been on their way over. We were all going to go out to lunch. So I called them and told them, and they told me to call 911. So I did. And my parents arrived a little after 911 did. And then we spent the next 24 hours in hospital. My cousins came, and we all told stories and laughed and cried. And it finally became apparent that the kindest solution was to take Grandpa off life support. And it still hurts. I was holding his hand, and I swear that when they took the tube out of his mouth, he like glowed. And he got this most peaceful smile on his face. And then he was gone. And I sobbed. And I sobbed. I don't think I took any time off. I took maybe like a day or two off work, but I didn't want to like wallow by myself in my house. That seemed like a bad idea. So I'd go to work, and then every night for a couple of weeks, I'd come home and draw the hottest bath that I could stand to get into, and then I'd sit in there and just bawl my eyes out until the water went cold, and then I'd pull the plug and sit in the tub until it drained empty and watch my tears and my grief go down the drain with the tub water. And it helped. It helped. But it was still really traumatic. When he fell, he'd been, I think, near the top of the stairs with his laundry basket. So there was all this laundry strewn down the stairs. And for weeks, every time I opened the door to the basement stairs, I would see his laundry there, even though it wasn't there anymore. And thankfully, I was in therapy at the time. And so I talked to my therapist about it, and she was certified in EMDR therapy, which is eye movement desensitization. I don't remember what the R stands for, but eye movement desensitization. It's bilateral stimulation. It doesn't have to be eye movement. It can be tapping. It can be, she used music and nature sounds that would alternate between your ears and headphones to go through the event again and recalibrate my feelings to it. And that reduced the trauma response quite significantly, so that I still remember it, but it's not like a PTSD episode where I'm suddenly in the event again. Yeah, it was really hard, and it's still hard. That was in 2011, I think. 2011 or 2012. I think it was 2011. And 2026, so 15 years ago, and it's still kind of raw. And then a couple of years after that, the owner of the salon that I rented a chair at was diagnosed with colon cancer. Stage 4 colon cancer. And for the next year and a half or so, she was on chemo and radiation, which those almost killed her. And she turned a strange shade of green, and she had bloody noses all the time. She wasn't really working, but she would come into the salon and just hang out in the back room fairly often, because she didn't want to stay home and wallow, which I understand. But I don't think that I had really recovered fully from Grandpa's passing, and watching her decline. And I felt really guilty about this too. I couldn't stand it. I didn't want to watch her decline. It was really painful for me, and I felt really bad for that, because here she was going through what she was going through, and I couldn't be a support for her because it was too triggering for me, and that made me feel really selfish. So I beat myself up a lot for that, and that was a really heavy drinking period of my life. I didn't know what to do with all those feelings, and I just didn't want to feel them at all. And then I had a bit of a reprieve, several years, until 2019, when another uncle who was living with my grandma and then my aunt, who lived next door, noticed that their kitchen light didn't come on when it usually did, and she went over there to check on them and found them. And she was already an alcoholic, but when my family flew out there for the funerals of my uncle and grandma, my aunt was in bad shape. She was clearly deeply depressed and having vodka for breakfast. And I knew that she was probably not long for this world either. And I hugged her. I cuddled with her on the couch. I tried to let her know that it was not her fault. She felt like she should have noticed something was wrong earlier. She should have done more to get my uncle to accept her help with grandma. And, you can't force people to accept your help. Just like I couldn't force her to accept my help. And the knowledge that I know that it's not her fault, but she really internalized it. And by 2020, all her organs shut down and she passed away as well. And I was not able to go to her funeral because there was a pandemic going on. So that was really hard. And then there was the whole pandemic. And all of that led to multiple despairing dark nights of the soul. And I've gone into those in another episode. Maybe I'll see if I can find it and link it here if you're ready for more darkness. If you haven't had enough from this episode. But after all of that and recovering from the last dark night of the soul that I had, I've come to the conclusion that life is short and it is precious, and I want to enjoy it and live it as fully as possible and as authentically as possible. And the way I can honor all those people that I've loved and that are gone is to live as joyfully and as fully myself as possible. And that is why I'm here talking to you, exploring that, exploring how to be more myself and how to do it happily. So if you're on a similar journey, and if you're still here, thank you. Thank you so much for sticking with me through this emotional bit. I'm not even sure that we'll post this. We'll see how I feel about it after I watch it back through. But if I do post it and you're still here, thank you. I love you. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be wealthy. May you feel at ease. And may you find so much joy in this precious wild life that you're living. Okay? Till next time. Bye-bye.